The feeling you get from overthinking is like trying to find a pair of matching socks in a pile of laundry that you haven't been able to put away yet. You can feel this urgency, that this uncomfortable feeling you just want to get away from. You just want it to be taken care of, and anything will do. And that's why it makes sense to go and be on our phone, or to even do things that we know aren't beneficial, aren't really what we want to do, but just because it quiets the mind just a little bit, that's why we do it. And this video is to help you get to see that there's another way to do that. There's another way to quiet your mind. There's another way to get to the core of why the overthinking is happening, so that you'll be able to hear yourself again. Because that's the most frustrating part about overthinking, is that you can't really hear yourself. You know you have the answer. You know that you know how to get through this. But the fact that you just can't hear yourself, you hear your thoughts, which feels like it's you. You are aware of all the things that are in the way of being able to hear yourself, which is why there's that urgency of wanting to get it out the way. But you know deep down that you know exactly what to do. You just need to be able to hear exactly what that is. And this video would really be able to get you to practice that with a very specific exercise that you'll see towards the end. So sit back and enjoy. What's up? What's up? Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, I'm Mike, and I created this channel to help people get out of their head and get back into their bodies. Now, this is the final part of the 5-part series for the overthinking cure. Quieting the mind is what we're after anytime that we're overthinking. And you can see through the analogy that I used in the beginning about the pile of laundry, trying to find a pair of matching socks through the laundry you haven't been able to put away yet. The pile of laundry is the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that we haven't been able to sit with. And anytime we're overthinking, there's a problem in front of us that's very important to us that we're trying to solve. So the problem is one sock and the solution is the other. But what's in between are all the thoughts, feelings, and emotions about the topic that we haven't been able to be with. And with every passing moment, every passing day, we just keep adding more laundry to the pile. And when you think about the times that has happened to you, because not everybody does laundry all the time, there has to be one time where you haven't. And let's say you're in a rush to meet up with a friend or even go to work, and you're trying to find that other matching sock, and you can feel the intensity build up, that panic, that anxiety, that you know there's going to be traffic, you want the other sock, but you just don't have the time to really go through all of this in this moment, so anything will do. Any sock will do, even if it doesn't match. And seeing it that way, now you can see why sometimes the solutions that we come up with, even though we know it's not going to work, even though the socks clearly don't match, it feels better than just having just one sock, than just having the problem, right? Any solution feels better than no solution. And in taking the time to go through the laundry, it'll make it so much easier to find the socks that you're looking for, to find the solution for the problem that's coming up. One way to do that is by slowing down, but slowing down very intentionally. And the way to slow down is first sitting for about 5 minutes. Not so much meditating, just sitting in silence. And you could put a timer for 5 minutes. You just look around in the space that you're in with your eyes open. What you're going to do is just focus on breathing. This is what we did in the first part, the first video of this series. And as you focus on slowing your breath, what you're doing is you're starting to slow down your train of thought. It may still be very fast, but just by slowing your breath, you're bringing yourself from your head back into your body. Anytime we're overthinking, it's because it doesn't feel safe to be in the body. So by focusing on just breathing, and not with your eyes closed, just with your eyes open, you're bringing yourself back down little by little. You just open the door. Now, the next step is you're going to now use the writing dialogue approach that we did in the previous video, right, in part 4. And you're going to ask 4 specific questions. The first 2, right? The first question will be, what am I feeling? And just write out exactly what you're feeling. And as you're describing it, now you're slowing down the pace of the emotions. Because since it's a backlog of feelings and emotions, it can feel overwhelming to just sit with each and every one of them. But as you're writing how you're feeling, now you're putting them in the line and just looking at each and every one of them. The following one is going to be, what thoughts are causing these feelings? And as you describe to yourself what thoughts are causing these feelings, you get to see it's a very specific question, and now you're getting to make the connection as to what's happening. There's an emotion that's there, but you're starting to notice that there's this story that's happening. And it may feel uncomfortable to call it a story because it's very real, very valid, very true. And I'm not invalidating that. So just acknowledging that it's true, it's like, okay, what I'm saying can be there, but what exactly am I saying? What are the thoughts that are happening within my mind that's causing these feelings to stir up? And as you start describing and writing what the thoughts are, there's going to be some feelings that come up. So although we're doing 4 questions, after you answer the second question, give yourself 5 minutes to be with any feelings that come up from writing out the story and reading it back to yourself, because you'll be able to feel the emotion that's there. You're giving space to be with that pile of laundry, so to speak. Once you feel there's nothing else to add to those 2 questions, there's no other emotions, there's no other thoughts, there's going to be this feeling of relief, this space that's granted within you. It's going to feel like there's this pause, there's this stillness. From this space, now you're going to write, what are you choosing to feel now? Because now that you have this space within you, it's like you sorted the laundry, you folded it, but you haven't put it away yet. So now that you folded the laundry, it's put in front of you, you created the space within you from the emotions. What are you choosing to feel now? And you start to remember from this space, you're not waiting for the thoughts to create more emotion within you. You get to generate that. You get to create that within you. And after you answer that question, the last question is, what are you going to do now? Because you don't want to go right into action without setting the feeling, without setting the intention of the feeling. Everything we do is for a feeling. Whether it's wanting to be generous to somebody or wanting to get more money, everything we do is driven because of the feeling we know we're going to get as a result. That's why we're drawn to do certain things and express ourselves in certain ways. So now that you set the feeling of what you want to choose to feel, what are you going to do with that feeling? What are you going to do after you have chosen how you want to show up? And then from there, now you have your solution. And from this moment, no hesitation, follow through. That's it. It's 4 simple questions. Those first 2 questions allow you to get clear on what the problem is. What exactly is happening what's happening that's getting so much of your attention that you can't look away. And then you give yourself that 5-minute buffer to be with what's coming up and continue to just be present in the midst of it. That's putting the laundry away. That's folding it up. The last 2 questions are now your solution. They are your answer. Now the laundry's folded up after you got to feel the emotions of it. When you ask yourself, what do you want to choose to feel? That's like asking yourself, where are you going to put this laundry now that it's folded? And now the fourth question is, how are you going to move forward? Now you have the space. What are you going to do with the space? You have the feeling within you. You have now the clarity. What are you going to do? And then you follow through and you trust yourself to do it, because now you don't need any more answers. You don't have to wait for more clarity. And anytime you catch yourself starting to overthink, you have the feeling to come back to. That's your why. The feeling is always your why, because there's always thoughts tied to feelings. Feelings don't just randomly exist. They could be tied to things that you want to create for yourself, things that you're dreaming of, things that you may have experienced in the past. But the feeling is the driving factor. And if you keep revisiting, what are you choosing to feel and what are you going to do now with that feeling, you have that why to come back to. Now, in a way, you're choosing to shift from overthinking to clarity. And anytime you have clarity, if you look back on any moments in your life when you felt very clear about why you was doing something, nothing can stop you. You weren't stopping to ask what anybody thought about you were doing, how they felt about it. You just did it because you were driven by this feeling within you, and that is all the confirmation that you needed. So if there's ever a time that you catch yourself in your head, just remember, I need to slow down. Before I keep adding to this pile of laundry, let me just sort it. Let me fold it up and put it away. And by slowing down, getting clear on exactly what's the backlog. You want to see overthinking just like overwhelm. It's the same thing. It's just an overwhelm of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. In putting that away, now you're clear within yourself. So this episode is going to be shorter than all the ones before because it's now tying everything together. And you already know now what to do. It's just, you just needed to hear yourself. And if there's anything that you feel you can't get past, things that you feel lost on, that you feel stuck or you feel very alone in, and no matter what you do, you can't break through, there's a booking link to get on the call with me. And once we're on a one-on-one call, we can personalize all of this to your specific needs so that it makes sense specifically to you to help you break through and be able to continue on to the other side, where you can continue to trust yourself and hear yourself no matter what's happening. And that's a wrap for the series. If you have any questions, be sure to put it in the comments and I'll be sure to answer it there. And if need be, I could also do a video on it. So be sure to like, share, subscribe. I'm wishing you an amazing day. If it's nighttime by you, I'm wishing you an amazing night, and I will catch you later.